Okay, picture this. You're driving through your neighborhood on, say, a random Tuesday, and boom, you see it again. Your neighbor just bought a brand new luxury SUV. It is literally gleaming in the driveway. Then, a couple of hours later, you open up Instagram, and another friend is posting photos from their second international five-star vacation this year. And you're just sitting there in your perfectly fine living room, looking around, and honestly wondering how on earth they pulled it off. Welcome to This Explainer. I'm Sarah, and I spend way too much time obsessing over how to build actual long-term wealth. And if you're watching this, I just know you've experienced that exact confusing feeling. You watch your peers buy all these luxury items, you follow all the rules, and yet, somehow, you still feel miles behind.
So, what exactly are they doing right? I mean, you're sitting there staring at your phone, genuinely thinking to yourself, wait, what exactly am I doing wrong here? Because, hey, you make a good income, you work hard every single day, you follow all those traditional rules of saving money and budgeting, but when you check your actual bank account balance, yeah, you definitely could never afford to buy that luxury car in cash. So naturally, your brain jumps to the conclusion that your neighbors must know some magical financial secret that you don't. You just assume they're incredibly wealthy, they have it all figured out, and you're just totally missing the boat.
Well, here is the incredibly uncomfortable truth that absolutely nobody wants to admit. Most of the time, they aren't actually richer than you. The truth is, they have more debt than you, like a lot more. They're playing a completely different and honestly a much more dangerous game. When you see someone driving an $80,000 car on the highway, you don't actually know if they have 80 grand in the bank. All you know for absolute certainty is that they currently have $80,000 less than they did yesterday. Or worse, they never even had the money at all. They just signed a massive, deeply stressful contract to pay a $1,200 a month liability. And hey, that doesn't even include the premium insurance, the expensive tires, or that specialized maintenance that comes with, looking that good. And this brings us to what I like to call the fake rich epidemic. It's an illusion of wealth. It's built entirely on monthly payments, where people literally bankrupt their own future just to look wealthy today. We live in a society that completely confuses the act of spending money with actually having money. And you know what the absolute scariest part about this epidemic is? It works. It successfully tricks everyone around them, including you and me, into feeling totally inadequate. So let's look at the tale of two earners, both making a $100,000 income. Okay, let's really dive into this and look at the actual math. Imagine person A and person B. They live in the exact same city, deal with the same cost of living, and make the exact same income, $100,000 a year. Now, person A aggressively plays the status game. They lease that luxury SUV for $900 a month. They rent the super expensive downtown apartment, they financed brand new furniture, and they're swiping for designer clothes on a rewards credit card that has a punishing 24% interest rate. No way, right? On paper, their life looks incredible. If you followed them on social media, you'd probably be extremely jealous of their fast-paced lifestyle. But behind closed doors, they are sweating every single time the mail carrier drops off another bill. But then we have person B. Now, person B literally couldn't care less about looking rich to strangers at the grocery store. They drive a reliable 5-year-old Honda that is completely paid off. Boom, no monthly car payment whatsoever. They live in a modest, totally comfortable apartment for $1,800 a month. They completely ignore expensive designer brand names, and instead they sleep so peacefully at night, quietly investing the $2,000 difference every single month straight into low-cost index funds. Let's take a peek at person A's actual paycheck breakdown. Those massive monthly payments, they eat up 95% of their hard-earned money. Bills and debt just swallowing it whole. They're saving absolutely nothing. They are investing nothing. I mean, just think about how fragile that is. It's like a glass piggy bank teetering right on the edge of a cliff. If they lose their corporate job on a random Friday afternoon, by Monday morning, their entire financial life collapses. They're truly just one single emergency away from total ruin. But let's fast forward 10 years into the future and look at their net worth trajectory. Person A still looks incredibly rich, but man, they are completely exhausted. They're trapped by endless payments, basically running on a hamster wheel of debt. They can never quit that job they absolutely hate because they just owe too much. And person B? Well, thanks to the sheer magic of compounding interest, they just confidently crossed $500,000 in actual net worth. They don't look rich, they actually are rich. They finally have true freedom and unlimited options in life. They've secured the ultimate luxury: time. The ability to take a lower-paying job they actually love, or, even take a 6-month sabbatical without sweating the bills. Which brings us to the psychology of invisible wealth.
and why smart people fall for it. Seriously, why do so many incredibly smart, high-income earners fall into this fake rich trap? It's so common, and honestly, if you felt the pressure, your financial anxieties are completely valid. The brain's math is just flawed here. The answer is surprisingly simple. Wealth is entirely invisible. You can't exactly see someone's brokerage account when they walk by you on the street, right? You can't see that they have zero credit card debt. All of the things that make someone truly wealthy are hidden from plain sight. You only ever see what they actually spent. Did you know that statistically the vast majority of actual millionaires drive used Toyotas and Fords? It's true. But because human beings are deeply social creatures, our brains constantly make a terrible, mathematically flawed calculation. We see someone spending a lot of money, and our brain automatically assumes they currently have a lot of money. And that flawed math leads to quite possibly the worst financial advice you will ever receive in your life: the idea of keeping up with the Joneses. But here is a little secret between friends, something absolutely nobody tells you about the Joneses. Are you ready? The Joneses are actually completely broke. Yeah, they are drowning in a sea of red bills. Real financial freedom does not come from your neighbor's approval. It comes from the discipline to stick to your own plan. So let's talk about the 4 steps to freedom and breaking the status trap. How do we actually engineer our escape? Well, it takes 4 simple but admittedly psychologically uncomfortable steps. Step 1. Stop the status game entirely. You've got to realize that nobody actually cares what car you drive. When you drive a fancy car, people aren't admiring you. They're just imagining themselves sitting in the driver's seat. Step 2 is to redefine the flex. Step 3 is to automate separation. And step 4 is assets before luxury. Let's break down how to actually execute these last 3 because they're absolutely crucial. Okay, redefining a flex. Right now, society tells us that a flex is a massive mortgage or a really loud designer logo. But real financial peace requires a totally new definition. A real flex? That's having a fully funded 6-month emergency fund. A flex is being able to comfortably walk away from a toxic boss because you aren't trapped by your monthly payments. I mean, just imagine the absolute power of walking into a job you hate, knowing you have 6 months of expenses sitting right there in a high-yield savings account, and realizing you don't actually have to put up with this toxic environment. True power isn't showing off to strangers, it's the freedom to control your own life in your own time. Next up, you need to automate your separation and buy assets. Basically, make sure the money disappears from your checking account and goes straight into your investments before you can even see it and spend it on luxuries. Out of sight, out of mind, right? And finally, the absolute golden rule: assets before luxury. Now, I am not saying you can never have really nice things. Absolutely not. But there is a strict order of operations here. If you want the nice car, let your investments pay for it. Instead of paying $900 a month out of your own paycheck for a car, you buy dividend-paying stocks or maybe a rental property. When that asset generates $900 a month in passive income, then you go get the car. Your money works the night shift so you can drive in style during the day. Your assets buy your luxuries, not your labor. Because here is the ultimate truth that most people never learn until it is way, way too late to change anything. Being rich versus being wealthy. Being rich is entirely about what you spend. It's loud, it's flashy, and it is highly visible. But being truly wealthy, that is entirely about what you keep. Keep more than you spend. It is incredibly quiet. It's intentionally hidden from view. Wealth is the cars you didn't purchase. It's the financial assets that haven't been converted into physical stuff. The earlier you can stop trying to look rich to strangers, the sooner you can actually become financially wealthy. I want to leave you with this final thought today. Have you ever felt that intense pressure to upgrade your lifestyle just to keep up? It's a heavy burden, for sure. But the moment you recognize the fake rich epidemic for exactly what it is, those chains just snap. If this explainer changed how you look at money, please hit subscribe so you don't miss our future deep dives. We're here to empower you with the actual truth behind the numbers. Let me know your own experiences with status pressure in the comments below. Thanks so much for joining me, and I'll catch you in the next one.